What up, fam? Jason is back again, and your eyes are not deceiving you right now. We are on fire right now. And you know what we have in front of us? That's right, the Armor Fire Team. I'm late to the game, but better late than never. And yo, I've already started some of the upgrades on the Fire Team to meet my personal preferences, what I want to do. So stick around till after we pay those bills and roll that intro footage.
Sinister Productions. Sinister Productions.
All right, fam, thanks for sticking around. As we said before, we've got the Armor Fire Team on deck, finally part of the lineup. I know this has been out for a minute, and there's not going to be any sort of unboxing for this vehicle because there's a ton of unboxings out there. What can I tell you that you don't already know about this 1/7 scale Armor Fire Team? But today, we're bringing you a product from the good folks over at RC Bash Co. And that is the RC Bash Collision Kit that we've installed on this baby. Very simple. Hopefully it'll be very effective. I think it's a unique add-on to this Fire Team. And come in a little bit closer so you can see exactly what this looks like. There it is, fam. That's all it is. It's a couple of shocks up front to help absorb those nose-in hits that I've read and watched on YouTube of other YouTubers explaining how this vehicle tends to like to nosedive when you're bashing and jumping around. So if you want to see how this is installed, hey, stick around. We're going to move this over to the bench, do the install, and then again, we're going to talk about our 2,000 subscriber mark celebration, extravaganza, giveaway, whatever you want to call it, and close this baby out. So let's go on over to the bench, fam, and get it done. All right, fam, so we're over on the bench now. We're going to go ahead and do the install for the RC Bash Co. front collision kit for the Armor Fire Team. Again, no unboxings on this rig. There's too many out there. Why would I bore you with more useless information that's already been provided by so many other YouTubers? Unboxing should be for those that get these vehicles first, maybe in the first few weeks of the release, and do the unboxing. Hey, I'm not going to waste your time. So what we're going to do is we're going to install the front collision kit on the front of the Armor Fire Team. To do that, we're going to flip her over, piece of cake, and let me move the camera down just a bit. All right, and again, there goes the RC Bash Co. sticker right there. We're going to remove these 5 screws from the front of the Fire Team, and what you'll need is for the front 3 screws, you're going to need the 2.5, and then these 2 in the rear, you're going to need a 2.0. So I'm going to get that done and come right back. All right, fam, so now we got the front skid plate assembly removed. Now we're going to remove this front bumper. 4 more bolts. We'll take that off. Let me come in close so you can see that a little better. Take these 4 screws out, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Then we'll move on to the next step. Hey, this is pretty simple. Everything's going real smooth so far. Let's get this bumper removed. All right, fam, so I had already assembled everything off camera, but I took it apart so I can show you step by step how you should do this assembly. So again, we flip this on here real quick like. Get in there, there we go. So this is the complete front skid plate and bumper assembly, all right? We've removed the 4 bolts from the front of it, separated. That is key. You want to do this because, well, you have to do this because you're going to have to insert some hardware through the backside of the front skid plate in order to get everything affixed. So first and foremost, this is the first thing you want to do. All the hardware you see in front of you here, sorry for the glare, the sun just came out, are the pieces that you're going to use to affix these bolts to the front skid plate. You're going to need 8 of these red collars, 2 of these silver flat hex bolts right here, 2 of those, 2 of the nuts, 2 of these black hex head bolts, and then these 2 items right here. So let me show you how to do it. First and foremost, you take your front skid plate assembly and you're going to insert 4 of these red collars Actually, rephrase that. You're going to take the front bumper assembly and insert 4 of these red collars right into these holes here. And I'll show you that up close as soon as I get it done. So we're going to put 4 of those in. They may slip out during assembly, no problem. You'll just put them right back in, but I just want you to see where we're going to use all 8 of these red collars. And that's exactly how it's going to look. Now we're going to go ahead and get our collars ready, which not our collars. We're going to get these pieces ready, which up close are these 2. All right, these 2 are going to go on the top portion of the front bumper. So in essence, they're going to look like this when they go on there. All right, so let me put them on. And then we're going to run one of these silver flathead or conical type screws through one of the top portions. Like I said, these are going to slip out. Let me go ahead and get that set. And we're going to use, I believe this is a 2.0 millimeter. Yep, 2.0. And we're going to start it on both sides. So we're going to take both of those and start them on both sides. And you're going to have to force them through because they're a tad bit bigger than the hole, but they will thread. All right, get those threaded in. Just to get them started, like so, we're going to take our collars. I keep calling these collars. I'm not sure exactly what these pieces are called, but we're going to take 2 of these. We're going to put one on either side of those 2 conical silver screws that we put through the back of the skid plate. We're going to put those on just like that. All right. And now we're going to line everything up with the front 2 holes. I knew that was going to slip off. No problem. No problem. We're doing it all live with few editing. And we're going to get those situated and we're going to run these all the way through just a little bit. There we go. Just till it starts to peek out, till the turtle heads on the front. We're going to make sure that all of our collars are still in because I did lose one. So I'm going to get that in real quick and come back for the next piece. Okay, I'm back. Got the collar back in nice and neat. Now we're going to move to the front. Remember, some of these may slip out while you're doing this part. No worries. It's going to happen. Just keep it moving. We're going to put 4 more of these red collars in these holes here. So I've got one already in. We're going to put another one here and then 2 more up top over the silver screws. We're going to pop those in. There's one. There's the next one. Get that in there. And the last one. And now we're going to go ahead and take the black cap head screws. Sorry about that. And we're going to fix those in the bottom through the red collars. Get in there. All the way through the bumper and into the skid plate. So get that in. I'm going to do some close-up shots of this so you'll be able to see it better. And we'll move on to the next step where we're going to go ahead and affix that in. And we're almost on. It won't be long. We'll be done in a little bit. This is real simple. So let me get this done, take a shot, then you'll see exactly what I've done. All right, family, this is it. So this is pretty much how you have the front bumper to skid plate assembly with all the hardware from the RC Bash Co collision kit installed. I'll put some close-ups over this so you can see exactly how everything looks, but you do want to have a little bit of play. I've got mine a little tight, but I can still move these pieces here, like this piece and this piece. I can still move them. You want some wiggle room and play so that when we move on to the next steps, it'll be easier to install the shocks to this piece. So again, this is the front bumper assembly. We're pretty much almost done. A few more steps to go and we'll be finished. So let's move on to the next one. All right, fam, next up, we're going to do the assembly of your shock kit. So your shocks come partially assembled. Pretty much they'll look like this as of the time of this recording. But what you want to do is make it look like this. Real simple. All you need is, of course, your shock. You'll need the spring, 2 O-rings, and the rod end. And that's all you'll need. So we'll install that real quick so you can see how that looks. So we take our rod end off. Install one of the O-rings. We're going to be using 2 in this case. Then our spring, slide that right on. Then our O-ring, put that on partially, just so you can have the threads available. Get that a little closer. All right, then you take your rod in, assemble that. That will give you room to push down on the O-ring just a little bit. Sorry, I got out of focus. And we're finished. So we got our shocks fully assembled and ready for the next step. You're going to have actually a set of 4 of these springs. All right, 2 of the springs, that's 1 in each shock, will be internal, and then you'll have the 2 externals that you'll put on yourself. So just wanted to be upfront with you, so when you get your kit, you're not saying, hey, where's my other, where are the springs? Nope. One's on the inside, one's on the actual rod itself. So now let's put the skid plate and front bumper assembly back on the fire team, and we're going to get ready to install these shocks. Let's go. All right, fam, now we're looking front on from the front bumper and skid assembly that we just reassembled to the fire team. We're looking at primarily at the shock tower. Let me zoom in a bit. And more specifically, we're going to be looking at this hole right here on either side. So backing out, we're going to use 2 more of these anchors or shock mounting bolts. I'll call them shock SMBs. Let's call these SMBs from now, the shock mounting bolts. We're going to use 2 of these, 1 on each side. We're going to use 2 of the shorter cap head screws or bolts. All right, 2 of those, and then 2 of the remaining nylon lock nuts. So I'm going to go ahead and affix those to the front shock tower. Then I'll give you a close-up view so you can see how it looks. But again, we're going to go 1 hole up from this factory A-arm mount on the shock tower. So from this mount up to here. So technically it's in between these 2 bolts. We're going to be running the cap head screw through there like that. And then on the back side, we'll have the SMB, the shock mounting bolt, and the remaining nylon lock nuts. So let me get that in, show you what it looks like, move on to the next step. All right, fam, so this is pretty much how it's going to look when we have our shock mounting bolts installed. So you can see here, we have our 2 silver cap head bolts through the hole between these 2 screws, which is basically the only open hole that's on the lower half. And you come around to the back, and these are your shock mounting bolts right here. Nylon lock nut, screw through, tighten it down, but give yourself some play. Always leave yourself a little play until you're almost finished, and that's how the other side looks. So it's pretty simple. 2 bolts, 2 nylon lock nuts, and 2 of the shock mounting bolts. Now it's time to get on to the next step. We're almost done, fam. There it is. We got one side installed. I'm going to show you how you do it. It's super, super simple. We're going to use 4 of the black O-rings and 2 of the black button head screws to affix everything. And it's real easy. So let me show you exactly how that looks. I'll install it, and pretty much we're done. We'll head back to the studio and close this baby out. So let's get this last side done. Let's get it. All right, fam. So we've got one side done. We're going to do the other side real quick. It's easy to do. I'm just going to show you how you put the shock together with the O-rings. Real simple. So first and foremost, you're going to take your shock assembly. The rod end that screws on, that's going to go towards the shock tower. All right, that's going to be back here. And the red main part of the shock is going to go up front. Either side you do first doesn't make a difference. I like to work on the rear first. So you take one of these black cap head screws right here, and then you take one of the remaining small O-rings that you have and affix the O-ring to the screw. Hopefully you can see that O-ring right there, just like that. Real easy, real simple. Then you take the screw and the O-ring, place it through your shock. Let me move my focus point. There we go. Through your shock rod end, like so. Then you take one more of the black O-rings and put it over the screw. like so. Get that in there. Here we go. And it'll look sort of like this. And now all you do is screw this into the open SMB on the back. Repeat the process for the front and you're done. So let me get that done. Come back, show you the finished product. All right, fam, and here's our finished product. Let's slide the camera over a bit so you can see how she looks from a top-down view. Zoom in just a little. And we have our RC Bash Co. collision kit installed on the Arrma Fireteam. Real simple. Everything goes on real nice and neat. This is how she looks and she'll work. So you can see the action in the shocks. So this should help disperse some of the energy. If you do have a nose dive or front end crash, it should disperse some of the energy and possibly minimize the damage that your vehicle takes and probably save you a few dollars in the long run and not having to buy a lot of different parts. It may or may not. I have yet to test this. You know I don't run my vehicles hard, but I thought this was real dope. I like the look of it, and I was like, you know what, why not support a cat who's putting out some real nice looking products for these vehicles? And again, it looks nice. So the last step I'm going to do, I'm going to go back and tighten up everything that I may have left a little loose, pop the body on. We'll head over to the studio, close everything out, talk again about our 2,000 subscriber mark that we just recently hit, and finish up another one. All right, fam, let's get back to the studio. All right, fam, easy as pie, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. We're done. Very simple install. And again, this comes from the good folks over at RC Bash Co. Let me tell you something, right out the box, I believe that this company, this maker, this designer believes in, stands behind their products. Reason why? Not too long after I made a purchase of this. And again, links will be in the bottom in the description if you want to buy a set for your vehicle. But I got an email from Adam C. asking for my phone number, shot him my number. He texted me and said, hey, this is a tricky install. If you have any problems, blah, 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 here's my personal straight through number. Give me a call. I'll walk you through it. First off, for someone to give out their personal information like that to a prospective buyer or someone who's bought it, that lets me know right then and there they know that their product is worth the money that they put into it and the advertising and the design that they put into it. So right off the bat again, I know this is going to work. 2, simple install, not too tricky, but it pays to follow along. All you need is a few simple tools to do it. A pair of needle nose type pliers, a 5.5 millimeter socket tool, a couple of hex heads. You need a 2.5 millimeter and a 2.0 millimeter. And then if you want to hand crank it, that's fine. Or if you want to use like I use my trusty Makita, which I've been using for a minute, hasn't let me down, you'll be done with this install 15 minutes or less. The big deal is make sure you remove the front skid plate and the front bumper from the skid plate from the entire vehicle. It'll make the install so much simpler because 2 of the screws have to come in from the rear. And trust me, you don't want to try to hand crank this from the rear while it's installed to the vehicle. Fam, I've yet to test it, so I don't know if it's going to work, but I really feel it's going to. You know, I don't run my vehicles too hard, so I may never, ever find out if it really works. But I'll tell you what, I'm an aesthetics type cat, and I like the cool look this gives to it. I do wish that the longer silver cone head screws and the nylon lock nuts were in black, so everything would blend in, but nothing that a little paint won't do. I can paint over that, make it all nice and neat, but the red looks good on the black Fireteam. Of course, the whitish gray Fireteam does have some red in its paint job, so that will go well with that as well, and you can't beat it. So fam, remember, we recently hit 2,000 subs. We're going to be putting out another video soon, giving you the details of what you can win and how you can become eligible to win. The number one thing that gets you in the door, the number one thing for eligibility, you have to be subscribed to the channel. So sub up to the channel in order to be subscribed. I'll be putting out notices on YouTube, Facebook. Again, yeah, I know. I got a Facebook. Hey, times change. And Instagram and Twitter. Check those out. All my information is on the screen now. Also going to be in the description below, and on my About page on YouTube, you can get a link to everything that I do social media wise. So fam, once again, this has been the installation on the Armor Fire Team from RC Bash Co. Their RC Bash Collision Kit, essentially a set of front shocks that are going to take and absorb most of the energy from any type of front end nose collision and disperse that so you don't have as much damage to the vehicle. And hey, it may save you a few coins in the long run. Thanks for watching, fam. Appreciate you stopping by. Appreciate each and every one of you that has subscribed to the channel. Again, if you have not subscribed, please do so. Hit the thumbs up, leave a comment below. It does help that YouTube algorithm. We've done all this growth not on our own. Has nothing to do with the material that we put out. It has to do with the faith that you have in us, and that faith comes in the form of your subscription to the channel. As always, fam, do you be you, and always, above all, always stay true. I am Jay of J Sinister Productions, exiting stage left.
J Sinister Productions. J Sinister Productions.